Good morning, everyone. My research focuses on understanding the consumer behavior of engineering entrepreneurship students at UNIMEM. This stage of higher education is a critical period for personal and professional growth where academic goals intersect with external factors like social media, peer pressure, and economic conditions. These elements significantly influence students' purchasing decisions. Social media, for instance, has become a dominant force in shaping trends and aspirations, while peer interaction fosters social validation, often driving conformity. At the same time, financial constraints compel students to prioritize their spending. These interplay affect how students align with their decision with their entrepreneurial and professional identities, making this study efficiently relevant. Slide 2. Problem statement. This study addresses a critical research gap while social media, peer influence, economic factors have been studied individually. Their combined effects on students' consumer behavior, particularly in this context of career development, remain unexplored. For UNIMEP students, social media doesn't just market products, it creates aspirations aligned with their societal norms and career goals. Peer pressure, on the other hand, acts as a social motivator, encouraging group conformity that might sometimes conflict with their individual objectives or financial realities. Economic conditions play an equally important role by dedicating how students balance essential and career-oriented purchases within limited budget. Finally, career aspiration or occupation and profession act as a guiding force, aligning consumption with profession identity and entrepreneurial goals. By studying these factors collectively, this research aims to provide a deeper understanding of how shape students' decision-making processes, filling with significant gap in the current academic literature. Variable and research objectives. The study revolves around the four key variables. The dependent variables is consumer perception, which reflects how students evaluate and prioritize product or services based on their needs and aspirations. The independent variables are social media influence, peer pressure, economic conditions, and occupation and professions. Each independent variable plays a unique role. Social media exposes students to trends, targeted ads, and influencer marketing that shape their preferences. Peer pressure adds a layer of social validation as students are often influenced by their group norms. Economic conditions, including limited financial resources, drive the need to carefully balance necessities and aspiration. Finally, occupations and profession reflect students' career goals, which influence purchases that align with their professional growth, such as educational tools or networking opportunities. The objectives of this research are evaluate the individual collective impact of these variables, investigate the interplay between them, and offer actionable insight into how they shape students' decision making. Key concept and significance. The slide covers the key concept and the significance of the study. Consumer perception is defined as how students form opinions about products or services based on their values, career aspirations, and financial realities. Social media influences students by showcasing aspirational content, often aligned with their personal and professional goals. Peer pressure plays a critical role by driving group-based validation and influencing shared consumption habits. Economic conditions such as financial limits directly affect students' ability to make career-aligned purchases. Lastly, occupation and profession act as a guidance force, shaping students' consumer behavior around their career identities. The significance of this research is multi-phased. For students, it provides insights to make more informed purchasing decisions. For educators, it highlights the need to develop financial literacy and career-focused support programs. Marketers can better target their strategies to resonate with audience, and policymakers can use these findings to address the broader economic challenges faced by the students. In Chapter 2, I dwell into the dependent variables and the relationship with the independent variables. Consumer perception. The dependent variable is influenced by social media, peer pressure, economic conditions, and career aspiration. Social media plays a pivotal role by creating aspirations through targeted advertising, influences content and trends. Peer influence drives group-based decision-making, often encouraging conformity to social norms. economic conditions dictate financial priorities, determining what students can afford and how they allocate resources. Lastly, occupations and professions shapes purchases around career growth, with student investing in professional tools, resources, and attire. These linkage are underprinted by the theory of planned behavior, which explains that attitude, social norms, and perceived control influence decision making. Together, these factors create a dynamic framework, providing a comprehensive understanding in how consumer behavior is shaped among UNIMEP students, particularly in this content of their entrepreneurial aspirations and academic pursuit.
So let's continue with an overview of research methodology. This study adopts a quantitative research design which focuses on collecting numerical data to test the relationship between the variables. So the independent variables include social media, peer influence, economic conditions, and occupation or profession, while the dependent variables is the consumer buying behavior perception of UNIMAP engineering entrepreneurship students. So by using structured questionnaires, we ensure that systematic data collection align with our research objective. This design provides a robust foundation for statistical analysis and reliable insight into customer behavior patterns. Moving on to sampling and data collection, the study target a population of 1,831 engineering entrepreneurship students at UNIMAP, stratified across 3 academic years. To ensure representativeness, we utilize proportional stratified random sampling, distributing our 200 sample size proportionally among the students. This method ensures that students from all academic years are adequately represented. So the data was collected through structured online questionnaires, which were specifically designed to capture the information on the independent and dependent variables. So this approach not only facilitated easy data collection, but also ensured precision in capturing the required response. Finally, let's discuss the data analysis method. The study employed descriptive statistics to summarize the demographic information and identify general trends in the variable. So reliability testing was conducted using Chromba Alpha to ensure internal consistency of the questionnaire, with a target value of zero point 0.7 or higher. For hypothesis testing, we applied inferential analysis technique such as regression and correlation to examine the relationship between the independent variables and dependent variables. So this method provides statistically valid insights and confirm the robustness of conceptual framework that used in this research.
Greeting to sir. I'm Manjushree daughter of Srikandan. My metric number is 211, 222, and 371. And today I'm going to present about chapter 4, response rate. And our responses rate is calculated by dividing the number of responses of the survey by the total number of distributed questionnaires, as the percentage is used to represented. So we distributed 250 Google Forms, and we received 209 Google Forms. So the percentage is 83.6%. Next is I'm going to talk about 4.2 is content validity. So content validity is research is a technique refers to how well a measurement instrument such as survey or test covers the whole domain of contrast being measured. It guarantees that the instrument accuracy displays all aspects of the idea under study and captures all relevant content. The measurement instrument should include items that cover all the important aspects of the construct. For example, a survey measuring a job satisfaction should include items assessing various factors like work environment, comprehensive and interpersonal relationship. Next, so according to our title research assignment, the impact of social media will influence economic conditions and occupation on consumer buying behavior. In perception of University Malaysia Perlis. Okay, next is I'm going to talk about reliability analysis. This is we will use consfla alpha to calculate what is the percentage according to IV and DV, and it depends all depends on our 209 respondents. So social media influence at 0.556. So that means items may need some refinement. Peer influence items likely need significant revision. Economic conditions items like need significant revision. Occupational professional items may need some revision. So independent variable is our target market. Suppose who's we are getting the prescription is E student from Unimap. So that is independent variable is moderate to acceptable reliability. The items measuring consumer behavior seems to be more consistent. And next is I'm going to talk about a same chapter reliability analysis. It is reliability constants. The low converge alpha values of the independent variables, like is independent on IV, peer influence, economic condition, occupation, professional are major constant. The suggestion can the items within these scales may not be measuring the same underlying construct consistently. Next, weak internal consistency can lead to unreliable and invalid results. It means that the scores on these scales may not accurately reflect on true levels of peer influence, economic condition, or occupation or professional factors.
Hi, my name is Nur Hafiza Bedizalizun, metric number 221220754. So I will explain about chapter 4.5, that is correlation analysis from our case study. So from the social media influence aspect, we get a strong positive correlation that is 0.966 with consumer buying behavior perception. For the peer influence, we get a strong negative correlation that is negative 0.966 with consumer buying behavior perception. For the economics condition, weak negative correlation that is negative 2.45 with consumer buying behavior perception. And for the occupation or profession, we get a weak negative correlation that amount negative 0.152 with consumer buying behavior perception. This show the correlation analysis showing the strength and direction of relationship between variable. Social media influence has the strong positive impact, while peer influence has a strong negative impact on consumer buying behavior perception. Next is a regression analysis. So from the regression analysis, we have a two model summary and coefficient. For the model summary, we get a mean square error that is 0.003 and R square for 0.999. For the coefficient, we have a social media influence, peer influence, economic condition, and occupation or profession. So for the social media influence, we get a 0.966. For the peer influence, we get negative 0.966. Economic condition, we get negative 0.245, and for occupation, we get a negative 0.152. This is summarized the regression analysis highlighting the impact of each independent variable on consumer buying behavior perception. The high R square value indicates a strong model fit. We will expose the result of hypothesis testing. So for the significant impact, social media influence, we get the p-value 4.5 multiplied to 10 negative 6. Same with the peer influence p-value. So for the no significant impact, we have economic condition that is p-value 0.495, and the occupation and profession, we get the p-value is 0.675. This show the result of hypothesis testing. Social media and peer influence significantly impact consumer buying behavior perception, while economic condition and occasion profession do not. For the 4.6.2, we go to the insight and implication. So for the insight, social media and peer influence are the most significant factors. Meanwhile, the economic condition and occupation profession have lesser effects. For the implication, we focus on social media and peer influence for marketing strategies, and also we align strategy with student preferences and professional goals. So this is key insight and implication from the study. It emphasized the importance of social and peer dynamics in influencing student consumer behavior and suggests area for marketers and educators to focus on. For the summary, we have a high response rate that is 104.5% with balanced gender representation. Social media and peer influence are key factors, and economic condition and application have a minimal impact. For the recommendation, for marketers, we need to leverage social media platform and peer recommendation to influence student buying behavior. For the educators, we need to incorporate social media and peer dynamics into educational strategy to better understand student preferences. For the policymaker, we need to develop policy that support the integration of social media peer influence in consumer behavior studies. This was the key finding and provide actionable recommendation for marketers, educators, students, and policymakers. It emphasized the importance on focusing on social media and peer influence to effectively reach and understand university students.
Research discussions. So, the research revealed some key insights into the factor influence consumer behavior. The social media and peer influence emerged as the strongest drivers that shape perception and decision among UNIMEP students. Academic conditions also play a significant role, with students aligning their purchases with professional goals and financial reality. So this finding align with previous studies, reaffirming the interconnected roles of social, financial, and social influences in consumer decision making. Implications and recommendations. So theoretical contribution of this study expand our understanding of how social and economic factors affect consumer behavior. Practically, these findings guide the marketers in tailoring campaign to address student needs and career aspirations. So for educators, it emphasizes the importance of financial literacy program. So looking ahead, future research should investigate evolving social media trends and their influence on decision making tied to career alignment.